we have been in operation or in existence in the Philippines for the past 30 years or more, actually. The church have been founded through the ministries for overseas Filipino workers in the Middle East back in the 1970s. During the 16th century, when the Philippines came across Spain during their exploration days, we were introduced to Catholicism. But what's really interesting is about Filipinos at that time, they were already well aware of the concept of God. The Filipinos were already well aware of the concept of eternity. And so when the Bible, the gospel, the concept of Jesus was introduced to pre-colonial Filipinos, it was very easy for them to embrace the whole idea. We have a devotional way where we sing the gospel every Holy Week. We call it the pabasa. You will not find that Catholic practice anywhere in the world. But it's one way where Filipinos try to absorb the whole gospel concept into our own ways. We are situated in a room we call in our church the uha room. By the way, uha translates as the first cry of the child, literally in Filipino. But when you really research what uha means, it's about worship. It's about crying out your heart.
That's right behind. And between the jail and our house was sort of an orchard. There were lots of fruit. In fact, if they stretched their hand, they could even get some fruit. But my mother was there because she had also an objective in mind to learn the English. The missionaries, some, because they were spread to the barrios also, some stayed in the house because my mother understood English. And they enjoyed my mother because they said her English was soldiers' English. These people that were sent by the American government were not soldiers. They sent missionary teachers. And these were spread all over in the island. And part of them came to the north. And that is how they also began to learn about the Christianity as practiced in the United States, not the Latin mass that they used to hear, so they could understand it. When you are labeled Protestant, there's even a terminology that's very dirty to label the Protestants. It was difficult even to establish a church. If you attend the Sunday school, that will be the first thing to happen. So children and some adults will be the first at the door. Well, we children were there, but we cannot move because it's full of human excreta. That's how they hated the Protestants. And then, when we have entered and they have cleaned the door in the service, when the pastor delivers a message or some Bible verse, anything that makes a sound, they throw stones on the building. And it was built with galvanized iron. If it was bamboo, there would not have been sound. But then they did use galvanized iron, and it was so noisy. We were scared, but later on we got used to it. And then they got used to it also, of our presence.
Most of these instruments came from the southern part region of the Philippines, Mindanao. It's the second largest island in the Philippines. And these are not just instruments for merrymaking in their tribe. These are actually instruments that are used in their rituals, in their way of living. So when we incorporate them in our worship here at church, we also put in ourselves the responsibility of learning the context of where it is originally used. What is the meaning of each beat? What is the meaning of each note? And even in the dances, you will observe that there is meaning in every motion. We have been very intentional to translate the message of Jesus Christ to all cultural groups, especially in the Philippines, where you will find more than 300 cultural subgroups. Day by Day Christian Ministries have been very devoted to penetrating areas where there are the unreached. We always make it a decision point, if given the choice what community where we will reach at, it will be at the areas where poverty is existent, where there is no accessibility to the mainstream Christianity, so we can minister to the unministered. About sending Filipino missionaries to other countries, there's been a lot of Filipinos involved in multinational missions right now. I've heard that even in the West, there's this trend that they call the reverse missions. Way back then, it was the West who keeps on sending their missionaries here in the East. But in the later part of the last 10 years, we have been sending more Eastern missionaries back to the West.